Hi everyone, welcome back to the Triathlon channel. So the dreaded FTP test is here. I'm going to do it. It's my lunch break now. So it's really quick, it's 20 minutes. There'll be a warm up and a cool down obviously before and after, but the actual test is going to last 20 minutes. It sounds nice and short, but it's brutal. I hate it, but I get the reason for it. So an FTP is functional threshold power, and I'm going to be doing it on Zwift. And I'll show you in a minute what I do to go through that. But you don't need to. If you don't have Zwift or you don't use it, you can do it without Zwift. Ultimately, you just need to ride at 420 minutes at your best effort, take your average power and times it by 95%, and that'll give you your FTP. So this will be tested constantly, well I say constantly, about every 8 weeks. Hopefully not that often as 8 weeks, after maybe 2 or 3 of them, only because I hate them, but like I say, I understand the importance of them. So I'm going to get on the bike, do a bit of a warm-up and go straight into the test. From start to finish I'll be done in probably half an hour. Maybe I'll record some of it and let you see the pain that I'm going through. I might not, I haven't decided yet. I'll see when I'm on the bike whether I'm willing to share that or the faces and the noises I'll probably be making. But ultimately, it's a good test. My last FTP was 314, which I got back in January of this year. It'll be interesting to see. I don't think I'm going to get anywhere near that, but I don't know. That's sort of the beauty of all this and testing, to see sort of how much you've either progressed or lost, etc. But ultimately, it's about building from here. So regardless of what it is, I'm not going to be overly disappointed or overly excited about it, because it's all about building on from here. And this is the first week back in training after the end of last season, a month off. So I literally did nothing for a month. So really interesting. I found on the run and the swim, as you've seen if you've watched the other videos, you know, I struggled in some of them. I couldn't believe how much fitness I've lost over a short space of time. But let's get into this. So I'm connected to Zwift now. Hopefully you can see this. I'm not too sure how it all works in terms of the lighting on the GoPro that I'm using. So I've chosen just a course there. You can choose whichever ones you want. I've just gone with the one in Watopia. It's a flat course. Ultimately it's just about putting down some power now. And you go into your training, you go down to here, FTP tests, and then you can choose the different options. So for the purposes of this one, I'm going to be doing the FTP test short version. And as you can see there, this includes a warm-up, but then there you've got your 20 minutes in where it will just be best effort. If you have got ERG mode or ERG mode, just turn that off for the purposes of this test, and hit workout, hit ride, and it's going to take you into Watopia, ready to go. Now we're in, ready to go, so I'm just about to start. So we'll start with the 5-minute warm-up, then we'll increase gradually, 20-second efforts there, 20 seconds, some recoveries, a bit more efforts, back into recovery before the actual test starts. Not a good start. I've already said connection failure. I've just done an update on Zwift, so I'm really hoping there's no issues here, because it normally happens with Zwift when you do an update, it tends to either not sync or you lose power, and that will affect the whole test, and I'll have to redo it, and I already don't want to get to the end of it and realise I have to redo it. So wish me luck. Hopefully that is going to all work fine. Only time will tell. A few minutes into my warm-up and I'm losing connection every 5-10 seconds, which is really frustrating. So I'll make the call in a second whether I just restart everything again and try and start again. But like I said, I don't want to be getting halfway through or even to the end of the test to only realise I have to do it all over again anyway. And also frustratingly, if you use Zwift, when you lose connection and it drops everything, you basically got to you start again. So when doing an FTP test and you've got a short interval of 20 minutes to do best power, if you're losing it every sort of even minute, it's going to make a massive difference to what you actually should have got. So really frustrating, but like I say, hopefully this will get resolved. I'll give it a few more minutes, see how many more times. The heart rate monitor's not connecting either, so it's going to be really difficult to get a heart rate reading now as well, so it might be a case of having to redo this. Okay, so we back up, I've restarted it. It's still saying connection failure in the top, but I've done just a couple of minutes now and I haven't dropped power yet, so hopefully it's sorted and that connection failure box is just an error or something, hopefully. So we will see. So I'm going to do my warm up. I've got around 10 minutes to go on this and then we get straight into the test.
Standing in the street alone. Her head was down, face locked onto the phone.
Okay, so that's the FTP test done. Thank God for that. Like I expected, didn't quite hold the 314. That was my previous FTP back in January of this year, but that's fine. So I finished on 284, let me just check it again, 289. So it's my second best FTP, so at least it's an improvement on previous years, obviously just not this year, so that's fine. When I did the test earlier in this year, so in January of this year, I'd already had probably a good 2 months worth of training under my belt, so I'm not surprised that there's a big difference today. So like I say, they are horrible. It's a good place to start. I now can build on that and hopefully in 8 weeks time I'm back to where I left off, or even better, I'm improving on the 314. So that's it. Hope that's helped. If you've got any questions on any of the tests and you just need some help, the idea behind it all was to help those of you that don't have coaches and just try and explain to you sort of what happens behind the scenes. If you do have a coach, this is what they're doing, but they're monitoring it. So like I said, you know, if you don't have a coach, you'll be inputting all of these onto TrainingPeaks if that's the platform you use. So if you need a hand, just let me know. I'm picking things up as I go as well, but it seems relatively easy. So I'll input this, update my FTP now. So now my training as of my next ride will all be based on my new heart rate and my new FTP. So the zones will be readjusted from the previous ones and power levels. So that's the idea behind this one. So hope that's helped. I didn't manage to catch much of me going, thankfully. I probably managed to go to halfway, but then the GoPro battery died. So it's probably for your benefit anyway. So thanks for watching and I'll see you in the next video.